Good after morning, peeps. It's your favorite nightmare again. This is why I don't leave kids in charge. What's up, all? Not dead yet, but check back in a couple of days. Anyway, hang on. How is everybody? This'll work. I was just perusing the tube, and I couldn't. Sorry, we're cruising with one of PW's favorite modes of transport, so we're going to be in and out of frame. Anyway, I was watching the tube, and I couldn't help but noticing that good old lock-picking lawyer posted about a month ago manipulating his McJimmies, trying to learn how to operate them correctly. And I kind of found that curious since all the prep, all the advertising on the Apexes, and how long we were all anxious to get our hands on them. There they are. How anxious we were getting our hands on them. Finally, they broke after all that time. And everybody spent 99, 100, 200, 500 getting all the toys. They couldn't wait. Whatever. And we got them. And here we are all this time later. We got LPL, still learning how to use them. And then we got Stu, the master of everything. Not very pleased and still learning too. Kind of makes me curious. Such miracle tools, why can't these people just breeze through them and use them even after all this time? Not making believe this is a review. I think, God, must be 2 years ago by now, Bumpy Bones did a unbelievable review on them. And I'm not going to pretend I can even get close. But Stu made an interesting point a couple of days ago, like, why bother with McJimmies when you can get all this stuff for virtually the price of just, my world exists from this room to 50 feet from there. So this isn't a problem, but I gotta guess that this got to work better when you're kneeling in front of a door or in well, maybe the magnets aren't. Oh, right, that's compression. This has to be better for you guys that actually got to use them in the field, I think. Well, I'd hope, right? Anyway, sorry, carried away. These profiles aren't bad, and I don't want to accuse these of being all American, because, wait, we got one of those. I got a Speed Square, and I don't want one of those in the back of my skull, so please don't send any. Oh, sorry, off point. These, similar to bare bones, don't go all the way down. And yes, there's some U.S. stuff in here, but you get away with it by how you phrase these things. But sorry for the shakes. Let's see, I don't want to use a heavy-duty magnet because then people will bitch at me that I'm not being fair. But this metal disappears pretty quick. put that away. And sorry, Jimmy. Take the same toy and whoa, sticks a lot better. Does that mean the metal's thicker or just better steel? Well, you knife guys are gonna have to help me on that. But damn, all the way down to the friggin' end. Imagine that. These are only a couple of bucks a shot. Fuck me. And having almost no feeling in these hands, let me tell you, these still feel better. These, oh, another one. Been through a couple of 3D printers too. How much energy does it take to, at what these cost, having to print shit to make them work is a little fucking annoying too. Anyway, another thing which bugs me a little, and since no one gives a shit what I have to say, how much effort did they have to go through to make sure the jimmies would not fit in here? But that's not my fight either. Also, they're a little skinny for my taste, especially with neuropathy and a little trouble with the hands. Sorry, Mom. But it is what it is. And these are still a little small for my problems, but I can buy all this with excellent tensioners that don't mimic what Newhouse puts out. I know a certain percentage difference. I don't see any trademarks flying anywhere, though. You can buy all this in different sizes, too. For less than all this costs. And to be fair, they offer popsicle versions of it, too. And not to be unfair, I love this in the popsicle form because these things are bitching for popping circlips. And if you prefer micticulars, they're available at Covert Instruments. And they don't supply stickers, no matter how many hundreds of dollars you do spend. Jimmy will help you anytime, any place. And it's up to you what you'd rather spend your money on. You can have all this for far less than the cost of this. These are beautiful, but what would you really prefer to choose from? Love y'all. Stay safe.